Happy New Year and happy 2026 to everyone out there. And this is my first 2026 video and my first premiere of the new year. And I hope everybody out there is having a great start to their brand new year. And I hope everyone also had a great holiday season. If you do celebrate Christmas, everyone's different. But I wanted to just start with this, and I put a lot of time into working on this video. I wanted to bring this out before 2025 ended, and I wanted to do it as a live premiere, so everything I'm saying right now you guys can watch in real time and see this video for the first time, and you can chime in on the comments of the characters that you guys want to see join this game. This is one of my favorite games of 2025. This is Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. If you haven't seen this game before, if you haven't played it before, it released back on September 30th. It recently got released on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it has the upgrade if you guys want to check it out. And if this is your forte of the game, and I know some people that's probably listening to this probably haven't played this game, or maybe you haven't seen this game before, you can hang out in here if you want to, and just lurk in the shadows if you like, and comment your thoughts, or maybe chat with me in real time with the live premiere, which I like doing for these kind of videos, so everyone could be able to talk and chat and share their opinions about the game, their wish list and what they're looking for, their honest thoughts on the game. Maybe you didn't like the game, which is okay, but I wanted to do this for the late great Jeffrey Garcia because he recently passed from December 2025, and this was his final voiceover work for Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, and I wanted to do something special and do a concept, a moveset idea, talk about how he can play. And he's dressed up like a jester. The character models in this game looks great, and I thought I would just play as Jimmy Neutron so you guys could see the trio. The gang's back all together again. The trio is back for Jimmy Neutron, the best friends. The bestest of friends that go wherever they want to go. They go together everywhere throughout the show, without the different throughout the movies for Jimmy Neutron's movie. They went to outer space. They went through all these different trials and tribulations with all these different adventures, all the different villains that's come around, even with Professor Calamitous and Robo-Fiend that I also put together for this video that I'm going to be talking about today. I'm not sure how long this is going to go, so I'm just going to be hanging out here for the majority of the video, so it might be a little bit boring to some people, but I thought this is the best way to showcase this tribute because this was the last time and the final time we'll be able to probably end up hearing Sheen's voice for Jeffrey Garcia being able to do a phenomenal job talking and being able to interact with all these different Nicktoons that he has never seen before. So before I get into anything, to everything I want to say for my little intro, which I'm going to get into in a few seconds, I'm going to have timestamps for the video. So if you want to get straight into the concept for the ideas that I came up with for Sheen of how I think he could play for Nicktoons Dice of Destiny, you can go straight there, or you can go and skip towards the end of the premiere where I'm going to be talking about the my opinion and what I think is going to happen with this year when it comes to Nickelodeon crossovers, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3, my take on that, and many other things that I want to talk about going towards the end. But I want to do something just real quick, and let's have a take a listen into Sheen's voice acting and what he says, some of the things that he says, and his reactions for this final game.
The only thing that's missing from this place is Ultra Lord himself. You tell me if you ran into him, won't you? Don't forget to write. Mascarino. Maschercino. Mascarpone. I almost got it. You'd think this world would have horses or something, wouldn't you? I'd come with you in the fight against evil if there were. But just thinking about walking has given me blisters. Yeah, I'll just stay here. You'll be fine without me. A giant squirrel, talking sponge, a robot girl, walking, talking turtles. Why do they seem so familiar? I remember now. There was that time I accidentally drank a whole bottle of spoiled milk.
It's amazing, isn't it? And you're not gonna get this kind of reaction in any other game. They did a really good job putting this together, and how he reacted to SpongeBob, Jenny Wakeman, Sandy, the Ninja Turtles, and so on and so forth. There's other reactions. He even acknowledges Donatello, and so much more that these characters do. So I wanted to just start with that for the intro, just so you guys could be able to see. And we're gonna hang out here for the most part and just really be able to see Carl, Weezer, and Sheen just chilling here in the Tango, which is the main hub. So I'm just trying to back up a little bit so everybody can see the in-game models, their chibi designs. So some other things that I want to say, it just showcases what they did for this game and just how great it is. All these different characters, characters he's never seen before. You're not going to get it anywhere else but Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, because these characters acknowledge each other. So before we start getting into this concept, just to try to get through this real quick for my little intro, this is easily one of my favorite Nickelodeon crossover games ever, and just seeing all these legends brought together in a brand new adventure is one thing, but what I've really been enjoying is going the extra mile to explore this Tango, which is the hub world, and to see what these characters actually have to say to one another. I haven't really seen anyone else diving this deep into the unique dialogue that this game has to offer, and I'm so glad I took the time, because I discovered some of the most amazing interactions with Sheen Estevez. And just seeing that dialogue that I just went through to showcase just a little bit. I didn't want to show everything, but I want people to be able to experience this game for themselves. Not just because Sheen's in the game, but because we have all these unique characters that get to see each other for the first time and talk to one another for the very first time with unique interactions, and not just having them fight evil alongside each other. They have conversations, they have interactions, and they react to each other's different worlds as you progress through the game. Sheen is a total dialogue goldmine in the whole world, as you guys saw. His reactions to the characters his reactions to the characters he's never met before are some of the best I've ever heard. So as you guys seen with Sandy and being the talking squirrel and robot girl and things like that, he even butchered Ember's name, calling her Lumber. It's just so funny. His energy makes the game feel so much more alive. And it's also just great to see him where with his Ultra Lord Scepter reunited with his best friends Jimmy Neutron and Carl Weezer, as you guys get to see when you play this game and play and experience through the story. So I'm happy I found these moments to share with you guys and everyone else out there who might not know of this brand new game, because seeing the trio back together in this new adventure reminds us exactly why we fell in love with these characters. If you haven't played Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny yet, I highly recommend it to any Nickelodeon fan out there, no matter which shows are your most favorite. I think this game deserves to be picked up for a fun experience, while also getting to finally see the long-awaited Timmy Turner join in a modern video game of this new gen era after a decade. Now, the one thing that I want to do, because we're going to start getting into the concept in just a few minutes or just a few seconds, I want to show you guys the playable characters, because some people might be curious who's playable in this game. You get to see Karai and Zuko, but they're not playable right now. But that opens the door for the possibilities of any of these characters being playable. Maybe someone's going to get picked up from the Tango. And I hope Sheen is one of them, but we don't know what the developers are going to do, who's going to be first. So let's showcase the characters for everybody out there who maybe haven't seen this game, or you're probably watching it for the first time and you're curious on who did they go with for the base roster.
In the market for a new hero.
So Pearl is in charge of the heroes. So this is the way that you're the hero boutique, where you're able to switch the characters and switch between playable characters, that if you don't want to play as Jimmy Neutron all throughout the game, then not every character is going to be available right off the bat. So you'll be able to switch characters even if you have a favorite. Maybe you like Jenny Wakeman the most out of everyone else. Maybe you're a Danny Phantom fan. Maybe you just love SpongeBob, or you're a fan of the TMNT, Rugrats, or Avatar. So 9 playable characters, with Timmy leading the charge, being the one responsible bringing these characters in with his wish. But I don't want to get too much into the story just in case people want to play it. But these are the characters that you can play as, and you'll be able to unlock them as you progress through the story. And the big question is, who's going to be next? We don't know yet. So we're just going to head back over and hang out with Sheen and Carl, and we're going to start talking about the concept. I came up with a full moveset of ideas and references of what the developers can do to make Sheen playable. How can he play? What is he going to play like? What can he do? So what I think I'll do, let's just have him right there, just right in the middle between them. So we're going to start getting into the concept. So we're probably going to be hanging out here for the rest of the video, potentially. So now it's time to start talking about Sheen's character DLC concept. I'm not sure if he's going to be playable. I'm not saying he's in the game. I haven't seen any leaks or anything like that. We don't know which direction they're going to go when it comes to this game. But for his class, I selected, he's dressed up as a jester, so that's going to be his class type. So Sheen is dressed like a jester, so I think this class fits him perfectly. Sheen's very unpredictable, and I think this can make him stand out the most compared to all the characters on the main roster that you guys seen. He's going to be able to stand out, and he's going to be a lot different. So he's going to be using his heroic inspiration from his favorite hero, Ultra Lord, and that scepter that's in his hands. So let's try to back up a little bit so everybody can be able to get a chance to see him. So I wish you could zoom in on the characters, but I think this is a good view so everyone can see his character model. So that's his class. So he's going to be a jester. So the character description for what he's going to be like: he's hyperactive, he's an Ultra Lord fanatic, loyal, and imaginative. So he's going to be able to use his imagination for his love for the hero, for Ultra Lord, to really shine for his skills and abilities. So I can't wait to get into these. So let's start talking about his skills and abilities of what he's going to be capable of on the battlefield. It'll be awesome to see what they do if he does get picked up. So the first move I selected is called the Ultra Blast. I wanted to add this move from one of my favorite episodes of Jimmy Neutron, known as Ultra Sheen, where Sheen strikes a pose to channel his inner hero, and he fires a beam of pure blue and white energy erupting from his palms. It's the move that he used when from the episode when they were battling against Robo-Fiend and they were trapped in the video game. I just never get tired of watching that episode. So this attack is going to ignore shields and cause the enemy to stagger. I think this move can be very useful against bosses, because the bosses, if you guys played this, each boss has their own little stagger meter, and once you fill it up to the max, they're stunned for several seconds and you deal twice the damage. So this is going to be something handy that Sheen can be able to use with his Ultra Blast, and then once they're stunned for several seconds, you could just do double the damage right off the bat to really be able to take them out quicker. Even if you're playing on a harder difficulty, it takes a little bit longer to fill up that meter, but you can still be able to stagger the bosses and really have a better chance of winning the battle. His next move is going Barracuda. So I wanted to add another favorite moment of Sheen that I liked into this moveset concept from the movie Out There episode, where the kids where Cindy, Livy, Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen get trapped in the giant fish tank, and he says, "Start singing before I go all Barracuda on you." He was saying that to the fishes out there. So for this skill, Sheen will swing his scepter in rage, spinning in a circle wildly, and the player is going to have manual control of the direction you want to move in. So afterwards, Sheen will become dizzy and vulnerable to attacks. Now, it might sound similar to Sandy's little hammer swing with her mallet. She spins in a full circle and you can control where she goes. And also with one of SpongeBob's techniques in this game, he also is able to rotate and spin around with his spatula to attack enemies. But he doesn't get dizzy. I just wanted to add a different effect to it, so it could be like a high risk, high reward sort of kind of move to handle crowds. Now, from playing this game, his next move I came up with is called the Ultra Card Toss. So the Ultra Lord trading cards was a unique quest of Sheen's in this game for Nicktoons Dice of Destiny. It's a unique quest where Sheen lost all five. He lost a track of all five of his trading cards for Ultra Lord, and you had to track them out. You had to track them down. And the five trading cards, or the five Ultra Lord trading cards, were located in five different areas or five different locations in this game, and you had to collect them all for a side quest and bring them to Sheen to complete the objective. So I wanted to implement them as one of his moves, since he has a wide collection of them, while giving the cards a special charge effect to make them a little bit more unique. Besides just throwing cards at the enemies for a boring, a little bland attack, I wanted to do something more with it. So Sheen throws razor sharp Ultra Lord cards at enemies for a normal attack. Now, while neutral, you can charge this move up for Sheen to throw a handful of that orbit around him like a spinning shield, slicing through each enemy he passes. So the next move that I came up with, I wanted to have him bring in his Ultra Lord action figure. His Ultra Lord action figure was called, well, the new one, I wanted to go with the new edition, the Series 4 action figure protection move, or his protection technique. So this special technique, Sheen brings out the new Ultra Lord with his classic red color and says, "Witness the crimson glory of the Series 4 upgrade. New figure invincibility. Activate." He's gonna really be able to temporarily be invincible when he activates this technique. So this special ability grants Sheen invincibility for a limited amount of time and drains his special meter rapidly. So just with, just thinking about the history of this character, and just when you watch the show, he always has Ultra Lord with him. He brings Ultra Lord with him no matter where he goes. He brings him with him through his adventures, even on the hover cart. For Jimmy Neutron's hover cart when they're traveling, he brings Ultra Lord everywhere he goes. So I thought it would be a great idea and a perfect tribute to him to include his action figure as part of his move kit for his moveset. So this Series 4 action figure that pays homage to the show is going to grant him full protection, and he's going to be immune. Even if he's fighting a boss, even if he's taking on Robo-Fiend or some other bad guys or monsters on the field, they're not going to be able to attack him, and he's going to be untouchable. So his next move, I call it the Intergalactic Dance, from the Journey to the Center of Carl episode reference. So Sheen enters a full body dance, creating a pulse of energy that radiates from him, drawing the attention of all enemies, confusing them into attacking one another. Remember, he had to try to do that dance to distract all those germs that were inside Carl. I wanted to give him some kind of taunt and some kind of funny pose or some funny kind of dance to distract the enemies. That's the purpose of the jester class. So I wanted to give something that would make the most sense to match up with his class type with this dance. So it's gonna come in handy. So when you're overwhelmed, or when the boss brings out their lackeys and their minions to try to attack you, you can do his intergalactic dance to really confuse all the enemies into attacking each other, and you can focus on thirsting the boss and being able to deal with them. So a healing technique, I came up with the purple flurp chug. So the purple flurp was one of his favorite drinks, where Sheen pulls out a can of purple flurp and chugs it quickly to restore some of his health. So another item from the show to reference. So I hope they do implement the purple flare. I'm surprised Jimmy Neutron didn't have something like this. So this will also, when he drinks the purple flare for his purple flip chuck move or his ability, when he drinks the purple flare, this will increase both Sheen's movement speed and his attacks. All his attacks, so it's going to do double the damage. So that way it's not going to last forever, but it's just going to be something temporary, just for a limited amount of time. His ultimate skill, I wanted to go with Ultra Lord, and I want to just showcase this. I didn't want to just have Ultra Lord just watching his back and put it as a regular move. I wanted to showcase this real quick. So I'm going to bring out Susie, because she has a summon for her ultimate technique in this game.
You!
Hey, you! Over here!
So for Susie, she can summon. She's the enchantress. So as you guys will see, he's not going to be able to attack because there's no enemies. Because we're in the safe zone being in the hub. Because the main hub is just a safe area where you buy weapons, items, and potions and things like that. Upgrade your gear, new weapons, sell things. But well, Ultra Lord, I want him to work something similar to like this with this animation. She brings out Reptar. So let's bring up the skills real quick. So I'll just read it. For her ultimate skill, she summons Reptar, who delivers 200% damage on successful attacks, while Reptar is active. Susie's Fireball skill is replaced by Reptar's Leap, and it commands Reptar to jump on enemies, dealing with a lot of damage with 200%. So see how he only has one move? I wanted to do something more, a little bit more than what they did for Reptar.
Behold! Reptar!
He comes out. This is just amazing. See, he's gonna stand there because there's no enemies to attack, and there's no bad guys out here. So I wanted to just showcase this because some people might be seeing this for the first time. They have summons. They have these kind of different unique skills, which is what I love about this game so much. With every moveset and these skills of these characters they're not the same. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different play style. So see how she was able to summon Reptar, and see that on the bottom left corner, see that cooldown period? That's going to happen when Sheen summons Ultra Lord. So I wanted to just do something like that for example. So I wanted to showcase this. I just guess I'll keep her out. It's just something different. Because I might even bring them out. Do some other techniques. In fact, I'm going to just keep her out because she does have different techniques that I want to just showcase for example. Just for a little reference. So see how she was able to summon Reptar? Sheen is going to bring you out Ultra Lord. And I call this move, this is Ultra Lord. As a cool little tribute because he always brings Ultra Lord everywhere he goes, and even in the classroom. And I want to get into this. So his ultimate skill, this is Ultra Lord. Sheen will always showcase Ultra Lord for every single one of his presentations in Mrs. Files' classroom. So I thought this would be the best idea for Sheen's ultimate skill. Sheen raises his Ultra Lord scepter into the air while the camera zooms in on his face as he screams, "This is Ultra Lord!" causing the ground to shake, and then a massive giant Ultra Lord is summoned to the field. So that's his ultimate skill, but I didn't want to just stop there. Let's start talking about the other moves that Reptar is going to have. Because see how I just read it? Reptar only has his little leap where he's going to jump on the enemies. He doesn't really have too many abilities, so I wanted to expand and do something different for Ultra Lord and give him his iconic moves for Ultra Lord's moves. So I came up with 3 different moves for his iconic techniques to reference the show and what he does and what Sheen also talks about from the episodes. So I gave Ultra Lord his atomic knee drop. This is the most famous physical move in the show. Sheen often acts this out by jumping onto his bed or a chair. So Ultra Lord is going to be able to deliver his atomic knee drop, and they're going to be button inputs for the player to really be able to implement whatever move that you want to. Or maybe he could be AI controlled or mainly controlled by the AI to do each move in different variations, so it's not the same thing. So he's not just spamming the atomic knee drop. I gave him the 300 caliber molecular blasting ray, so I wanted to include this as well. Another one of Ultra Lord's iconic special moves where he can fire the molecular blasting ray from his wrist as twin beams fire from his wrist to attack multiple enemies on the field for crowd control. And then his final move, I added the Destructo belt that Sheen also mentioned from the show. Ultra Lord activates the belt and unleashes a massive wall of fire that engulfs and traps enemies, inflicting the burn status element. So burn enemies take additional damage per second for a limited amount of time. And that status element is in the game. So you see all these different techniques?
Pretty please help me heal.
See how she's able to heal for a few seconds? That could be something the purple flirt chug is probably going to be able to do while he's going to be able to get those benefits. And you could just travel around with it for a few seconds. And it has a short cooldown period. Even things like this.
Swimming in the air.
See what I mentioned with his cards from earlier with his charging technique? She has that rotation. So those cards will be able to protect them. But those are all the moves that I came up with for Sheen's DLC concept. And now I want to start getting into the world, the fantasy world and the bosses. And then I want to talk about my thoughts on Nickelodeon crossovers to wrap up this premiere. But I want to open up the world map now, just for a little while. As you guys can see the map, I just love how he did this. I wonder how long it took them to create this kind of map. See how it's just like, it could be so much more. See, like in the corners, they can expand and we'll be able to go to different worlds. So this is just some of the worlds, and maybe it'll come off as a spoiler, but you just won't know who's in it until you start playing the game. But we got the Go Zone. We went on down to New York for the TMNT, Bikini Bottom Shire, which is inspired from the Bikini Bottom stage, or the Bikini Bottom world for SpongeBob. Prehistoric Volcano Wasteland. We got to the Fire Nation and more. It's so much other things that you can do just from all this. So they have a nice little world and just different areas that you can really be able to explore. So I'm just going to leave it right here so you guys can be able to see just a couple of the different worlds that they have to offer on screen. So the boss concept that I came up with Robo-Fiend and Professor Calamitous is perfect for these guys to get in, for these villains, these iconic villains, if we get DLC for Sheen for bosses. So I didn't want to just settle with just a moveset. I wanted to go a little bit further and talk about boss fights in their worlds that they can add. Robo-Fiend and Professor Calamitous are the perfect duo for a retro VO DLC for Sheen, for Sheen's DLC for his character. And I picked them because they represent the two greatest threats to the world of Jimmy Neutron's world. Robo-Fiend serves as the ideal sub-boss because he's the ultimate arch nemesis of Ultralord. Fighting him allows Sheen to finally live out his fantasy of being a true hero, proving he knows every weakness of his favorite show's villain, as you guys seen from Ultra Sheen from the episode. Professor Calamitous then raises the stakes as the final boss by bridging the gap between the game and reality. As a villain who can never finish anything, Calamitous' attempt for his storyline, just a little bit of storytelling, Professor Calamitous' goal, or his main mission, is going to be able to try to recreate a whole new Retroville as his main mission for new story, new boss DLC for character storytelling and expansion, so we could be able to have these characters come to Jimmy Neutron's world. Because as you guys can see, Jimmy Neutron doesn't have a world. We got let's just run through it real quick. We got the Fairy Village from Fairly Odd Parents, the Ghost Zone from Danny Phantom, the Fire Nation from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Prehistoric Volcanic Wasteland. I guess that's from some kind of additional it's like a early stage or early different world part of the Fire Nation. I think it's like a bonus world. I think the Prehistoric Volcanic Wasteland represents a bonus world before you get into the Fire Nation to take on Azula. And then we got the Go Zone for Danny Phantom, as I mentioned, the sewers from TMNT, and then we got the Bikini Bottom Shire Village, which is from SpongeBob SquarePants' Bikini Bottom, which is inspired from that show, where you run into Plankton and you run into all types of different surprises and different characters that you wouldn't expect to see in this game. See how I just went through the worlds? Jimmy Neutron doesn't even have a world represented. We didn't even get a chance to go on down to Retroville. We don't even know the status and the safety of that world. Has their world been? Has Jimmy Neutron's world been affected? Jeannie Wakeman doesn't even have a world. We didn't even get to go to Tremerton, which is her main setting for her world for her show. We didn't get to see those worlds. So we got quite a few worlds that's missing. So Retroville seems to be ideal for DLC to get into this game. If they decide to add Sheen as a playable character, we can go down to Retroville, which is probably more than likely affected from Timmy Turner's wish when he dragged all these characters in these different worlds, wanting to play creatures and chasms for the first time in real for real. He wanted to. His wish was to play creatures and chasms for real, and it caused a dilemma, causing all these different worlds of the multiverse for Nicktoons characters getting involved into his game from characters he never even seen before. So that's my little idea for a boss concept of what they can do and bring these characters in for a little bit of storytelling. So now, just to wrap up, I want to get into my future DLC characters 2026 wishlist for Nicktoons Dice of Destiny. Now, I'm gonna run right back. I'm gonna just run right through these characters for this list, and I want to say, and then I'll close out for a final portion of things I want to see, talk about for the future. See, we got Crimson Sheen. We got a nice set of characters that's in this game. Crimson Sheen from Fairly Odd Parents. Tommy Pickles is here as an NPC. Maybe he might get picked up. We got Gary the Snail. These were really awesome picks. But let's start talking about the wish list real quick. Mrs. Puff, y'all saw Karai and the Ninja Turtles and things like that. And then I was going to run over there, but I think that's just going to be time consuming. We got Georgia Von Strangle, and Aang is also in it with Momo and many other characters that you guys can really be able to see when you start playing this game, if you guys decide to play.
Welcome to the Hero Boutique.
So let's leave it on the characters on the screen so everybody can see the characters in the game. And we'll just leave it on Jimmy Neutron. So one thing I want to just get into for this particular portion as we get closer to wrapping up the premiere. Future DLC characters for the 2026 that I want to see in this game. This is 9 characters that we got from all these different worlds. I love this roster for what it is. It's something unexpected, and I already knew we were probably going to see the OG original Nicktoons characters with SpongeBob, Timmy, and Danny Phantom, with the full complete squad from the original OG squad from Nicktoons: SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, and Timmy. But seeing characters like Leonardo, Jenny, Sandy, and Katara getting picked up along with Susie was really surprising and unexpected. So it makes it so difficult to try to figure out which characters could they pick, what other characters will they pick up to join this game. So being honest, I think it'll be difficult to get everyone that we want in this game because it's not a platform fighting game. We have all these worlds filled with unique enemies and bosses from the shows. I'm hoping to at least to see 2 new shows included with a full-on season pass. I want 2 new shows at least included in the full season pass if we get one. But we don't know which direction they're going to go. I don't think it'll create much hype if it's only a new world and no character, and not a new character, or just a brand new playable character joining the game alone with nothing else additional to offer for the update. The unique interactions for these characters to be able to see each other for the very first time just excites me to experience how they'll react to one another and if they'll be able to get along from the storytelling. But from playing this game, it's so many wholesome interactions between these characters, especially between SpongeBob and Jenny Wakeman, and my personal favorite, Danny Phantom and Susie Carmichael from Rugrats. The heartfelt, wholesome interaction with Danny Phantom and Susie Carmichael was one of my favorites in the game. And it just, who's gonna get in? They got all this room on the screen, but how much bigger is this roster gonna get? So just my little wish list I want to get into. Tuck Puppies, Dudley Puppy, and Kitty Catswell, just to run through it. Invader Zim could be an anti-hero. Maybe you might have a secret scheme or a secret plan of taking over the world and things like that. They got all these great characters that can really be able to get into this game. And I'm hoping that they do so much more to expand these worlds. The Loud House for Lincoln Loud and Lucy Loud. I'm not sure who they're going to pick. Lucy Loud might get in, unfortunately, over Lincoln Loud because she fits the witch, sort of witchy vibes. which could possibly happen, but who knows? Rocco for classic characters. The Wild Thornberries, Debbie or Eliza Thornberry could get in. Chalk Zone that I want to see get in as well for Rudy and Snap. I also made additional moveset concept videos if you guys want to check it out from several of these characters that I'm naming and going through for my list. Helga from Hey Arnold could get in for Hey Arnold DLC. LT Gray, Ren and Stimpy. We might even see Garfield show up, bringing that lasagna to the battlefield. Bexy Higginbottom from Mighty B, an underrated show. Duos, additional duos like the Angry Beavers, Daggett and Norbert to join Ren and Stimpy. It'll be awesome to see stuff like this. Fanboy and Chom Chom and many more. The list goes on for a lot of potential. So it's a lot of different things that they can end up doing for additional characters that can join. So just like I mentioned, it's not a platform fighter. So since it's not a platform fighter, it's just going to be unpredictable. It's just going to be so hard to tell who's going to get in first, who's going to be the first character to join this game. But we just don't know because it's not a platform fighter where they can just grab a character and throw them in there. These characters each have a world, just like I mentioned and showed on the map. They all have, almost all of them at least, almost all of them have their own worlds represented into this game. The Fire Nation, Bikini Bottom, the Ghost Zone, it's 3 characters that don't have a world from their game. Well, that's in this game. Rugrats, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and we got Jimmy Neutron that we just finished talking about for Retroville's world. Now for this final session for the premiere, I want to start talking about the new Nickelodeon crossovers 2026. What can we possibly see for the rest of the year? What is 2026 going to look like when it comes to Nickelodeon games? Throwing these fireballs, it's just awesome. But see what I just did? It's just it could go either way. It could go either way just based on what we could get for this new year. But my take, I want to just start talking about it. Let's get back over here and chill out with Sheen and Carl to close out while we get into this, because I want to say quite a bit to close out this premiere. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen this year. Let me know your wish list and what games that you're looking forward to seeing the most. And maybe your predictions, maybe you have a dream announcement that you're looking for. It could be different for everybody, but my take, I want to just get into this. 2026 has just started, and it's time to start talking about the future. For the last portion of this premiere, I wanted to share my honest thoughts. So let's get into the gaming forecast of 2026. Looking ahead, I think the chances for a major new Nickelodeon crossover announcement seems very slim. With the Avatar Legends the Fighting game scheduled for a summer 2026 launch, it's highly unlikely we'll see Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 anytime soon. Some people might feel differently, but I'm just going to start talking about it a little bit more now. I haven't seen anyone say this yet. At all. But honestly, the brand itself, the Nickelodeon brand, went and wants to compete with its own high profile fighter. Even games like this, Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, has already confirmed character DLC this year for 2026, which makes me believe the developers are clearly focused on expanding current titles rather than launching a brand new platform fighter within the same exact year. So why would we end up seeing a game like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 basically drown out and kill the Avatar fighting game? The Avatar Legends fighting game is something realistic and a real title. It's not no rumor or some made up leak. This is something that we're actually getting and has been announced, and it's scheduled to have a post-launch content with a fighter pass. So why would Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 even come out this year? It's just not a good idea. And I'm not saying that I don't want the game to happen, but I don't think it's going to be ideal business-wise, because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the sales of the Avatar Legends fighting game, and it's not going to be able to shine, and it's not going to get any sort of kind of momentum. Because when you think about it, anybody out there will know. What you gonna buy? Avatar fighting, Avatar fighting game, or you gonna buy Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 3? You're obviously gonna go for All Star Brawl 3 because it has so much more to offer outside of just strictly Avatar characters. So just saying this now, if Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 3 did happen, the Avatar game will easily die out because the roster is strictly Avatar characters versus a game that has a much bigger roster, which so much more content and characters to explore and so much more to offer. If we do see a new crossover announcement this year, this is just a bold prediction. Just to start talking about this to wrap this up. If we do see a new crossover announcement this year, the only realistic wild card would be a Nicktoons racing revival, as the kart racing game genre hasn't had a fresh entry in a couple years. Otherwise, I'm honestly expecting 2026 this year to be the year of the individual show focused it'll be the year of individual show focused titles or a deep dive of DLC for a post-launch content rather than a massive new project. And I honestly think this game deserves more. It's only been out for a few months. We got to see these kind of characters come into the game that we didn't even expect to see.
I hope I'm not missing a new episode of Ultra Lord.
You're not going to get some of this stuff in the game. You're not going to be able to see some of this stuff happen in all the other games that's out there right now. That we already got a chance to experience.
As you can see, the Tangle's still standing.
I love the chibi designs. I'm a huge fan of the designs of how they did this for the games and the characters.
Just because this is a dangerous situation doesn't mean you can't have some fun.
It's so well done. We got Aang and Momo. He's going to talk about Zuko in a little while when she talks to him a few times. We got Jordan Von Strangle.
Come back when leg day is over.
They have different lines and different things that they say. I want to see this game get some more support. We got Carl.
Hey, where's the fire?
Let's talk to him for a little bit.
Wow! That surprising choice almost gave me whiplash.
He has his own OG original voice actor in this game. We're not seeing some of this stuff happen in some of these titles.
Welcome to Gear Galore. How may I help you?
It's just so well done.
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun.
He gonna say, see, I've been practicing.
Do you like it? I've been practicing.
It's just awesome. I want people to give this game much more of a chance and be able to support these Nickelodeon crossovers, because if these games are not getting the support, we're probably not going to be able to see these games happen too often.
Be gone, minions!
We got Plankton looking all buff and flexing and things like that. It's awesome to see these characters get into the game. I was super excited. I love playing this game. It's one of my favorite games of 2025. Tommy Pickles up in here, ready to deal with some monsters.
Don't forget to look both ways before you go in a portal.
Look at his character design. It just looks great. He's got his knight armor. He ready to shine. I'm not sure he's going to be playable, of course, but we got Angelica. From the Tales of the Crib special reference, Queen Angelica. It's just so very well done. It's awesome to see some of this stuff. Let's talk Suzuko for a little bit. This just to wrap this up. I want to see more players be able to play some of these titles, even if it's not a platform fighter. And I think that's a major problem that's going on with these titles, and that's how they suffer. They'll fall off quickly because people are just expecting one game to come out. But we need more games like this with great storytelling and these characters to be able to react to each other.
State your business.
It's just so well done. Let's give him one more chance.
I'll keep an eye on things here.
Let's talk to Karai for a little bit.
Good luck with the Dungeon Master.
It's just awesome. She was a giant serpent. It's just an epic boss, Mrs. Puff.
My! You heroes are such a photogenic bunch. It's too bad we don't have a photographer. You take a lovely yearbook picture.
It's just so well done that they did this game. Just so much things that they can bring out. And I'm gonna just say this now, just to close this out. I don't think we're probably gonna see a huge amount of characters, but I'm excited for the future because we're getting character DLC. We're getting post-launch content support instead of having the game just get swept under the rug and thrown under the bus so quickly. We're getting a lot of other characters. Hopefully quite a few characters will be able to get in. It's not a platform fighter, which is okay, but some people expect some of these crossover games to have platform fighter potential when it comes to a platform fighter, a quantity of characters to come up to that, to live up to that factor for that number of characters. But this is a RPG. It's different. RPGs are supposed to have just a select few characters. It's 9 playable characters. How many more are we gonna get? But this is what 2026 is all about, and I hope Sheen is one of them. That's why I wanted to make this video today, to show how he can play, talk about the ideas, and share it, and just share the love for this game. We're not gonna see this. We're not gonna see something like this again.
Carl's gear shop is cool, but it doesn't have any Ultra Lord costumes.
This is the last time we will see him. It's sad. This is the last time we'll be able to get something like this.
He'd probably sell out of them in a few minutes, and all you heroes could fight evil and whatnot in true Ultra Lord style.
This is awesome. I really hope he gets picked up. See how he reacted to Carl's gear shop? Because he doesn't really show. He even says something like Carl's not some kind of ideal character that would be selling weapons or selling gear. That's something that Jimmy Neutron would do. That's another interaction. He reacts to Jimmy Neutron and things like that. He's seen Ember, as I mentioned earlier, characters he's never seen before. I really hope that they consider adding him as a playable character. And even if he isn't a playable character, I'm very grateful that they consider to add such a legendary character that's so much fun, full of energy, full of hype, and just energetic, hyperactive, that brings a whole vibe to Nicktoons Dice of Destiny. It's not just him, but it's all types of different characters that you guys can really be able to experience when you start playing this game. So I'm really hoping that people will be considerate to try this game, even if you aren't an RPG fan. How long is it going to be when we see another Nickelodeon crossover like this? We're probably not going to be seeing it for quite some time. So this is a time to play these kind of games, to get the experience, to get the support, so we can see these characters make their return. So that's everything I wanted to mention for today's premiere, and just my whole thoughts on the crossovers. I don't think we're going to really see another crossover like this, because we're getting this post-launch content support, and our Nickelodeon game later in the year for summer is that Avatar Legends fighting game. So I'm hoping to see more games like this in the future, and I'm excited to see who they pick. I would love to see a DLC teaser tweet come out sometime this month when they get a chance to bring it out, so we'll have an idea who we're going to see join this game and who's going to be the first playable character. And hopefully it's not just a character or just one little fantasy world. It's not going to create hype and create engagements when it's just a one new world to visit and there's no new character to go with it, and vice versa. We need a new character, a new place to go to with new unique interactions, so these characters can really be a part of these worlds, to really check them out, so people can start showing the support for these titles, for the crossovers, instead of waiting around for one game. So that's everything I wanted to mention for today as far as this. And you guys are welcome to check out the other concepts for the other characters that I mentioned from my wish list, from LT Gray, Rudy from Chart Zone, and I even talked about iconic villains that could get in for our bosses, and many more. I talked about a lot of different concepts from this game, from bosses, new playable characters that can join this game.
Need a hero? You came to the right place.
She said, need a new hero. All types of new heroes that can join this game to be able to expand, and Timmy can really be able to see characters he's never seen before. That's why I think this game is super special, because we got a character from such a long time, after over a decade, to really be able to meet these characters and see them for the first time, and these characters can be able to meet each other. That's why I think what excites me most about the DLC is these character interactions and what worlds are going to be included and part of them. Let me know what you guys think. Share your wish list of some of the characters that you think is going to happen, and maybe some games that you're looking forward to seeing as far as the Nickelodeon crossovers, or what you think the future will hold when it comes to 2026. But I honestly think this game deserves more support, so that way we could get additional characters and more games like this for something different.